Hey kiddos, let me get this in here. Straighten it up so we don't look too crazy. How's everybody doing? It's September the 16th, 2025. Trying to make this thing work. It seems like it's recording good video. I need to upload it, but this is the old man files for Philip L. Staten Jr. and this is designed for my kiddos, so that one day when they desire to get a better understanding of their father, they can look to this YouTube channel and see perhaps advice, to see perhaps a relationship between our behavior, or their behavior and my behavior, because it is something that plays into our character, our values, our behaviors, our tics, our shortcomings. A large part of that is DNA. And I realized this after finding out the other day that my father had passed away. He lived in Escondido, California, and my sister, Cody, or half-sister, Cody Staten, who is now married. I don't know her current last name, but she notified me that Dad had died. And I wish I would have reached out to him. It sounds like he changed his ways a little bit. He was a severe alcoholic who was violent most of the time because he was drunk most of the time. And let me check my phone for text. Oh, good. I've got a little bit of time here. So this is another reason why I want you all to understand who I am. And okay, so she doesn't want my help. Anita and I are no longer a couple, and most likely will not be getting back together because we have tried and tried, and I think we've both come to the realization that we are not meant to be together. There's a lot of common things and things that we have in common, a lot of things that we enjoy together, but our personalities clash, and I think part of it is my nationalism and her feminism. They just don't combine. And also her being Polish, she has a hard time understanding where I'm coming from, and I just feel like we need to be equally yoked, more than Anita and I anyways. And it's very possible that I'm incapable of connecting with anybody. I am, as you all know or knew growing up, I can be harsh and I can have a short fuse, but I want you to know that I'm a very loving person, and I'm caring, and I'm reasonable. I do have a short fuse, but I love you very much. And you might find as you get older that you have very similar behavior flaws. Everybody has behavior flaws. They're just different because they're coming from a different background, a different DNA package. And so there are those things. I am at peace with myself, and I may repeat this in several videos. I just want you to understand that the ongoing feeling that I have is that I'm at peace with this decision. I am not hating on Anita. I think it's a matter of us just not being the right couple, the right person for each other. She's very stubborn, I'm very stubborn, and there's just some what they call irreconcilable differences between us. And so the 8 years, a little more than 8 years that I've spent with Anita, I feel like were worthwhile, and it was a good time. Only at the end did it seem like it became more difficult, and most of that it was because of my change. Over the 8 years, I probably changed more than her. I became more of a nationalist and concerned about, and a patriot, more concerned about the future of America for my children and my grandchildren and on down the line. More interested in the reality of what's going on, and I don't want to delve in that too much. Later on in this series, I will probably cover more of those opinions and those thoughts, and maybe I'll probably, most likely, will evolve a little bit. But I do believe in peaceful approaches, if at all possible. And I absolutely love good people. I love innocent people, but I do despise evil and evil deeds, and believe that those who commit actual deeds, not just words, but actual evil deeds, deserve the consequences of those evil deeds. And those who have committed good deeds deserve the rewards of good deeds. But we have to understand that history is being manipulated, and you may think something is bad that's actually good from the past, and something you're being told is good is actually bad. And the real history is out there as long as the information is available for us. At this point in time, in 2025, we have access, but the federal government and the ones that control the federal government are hard at work at stealing away our freedom of speech, and also our freedom, our right to bear arms without infringement by the federal government or any other government entity. So as you're older, you might care more about that stuff. I definitely want you guys to be aware and awake. So Charlie Kirk, somebody that I didn't relate with much, but he was a conservative influencer. He was with Turning Point. He was the creator of Turning Point USA and was bringing in about almost $100 million a year, had 5 million subscribers on YouTube, I believe, and a big following, but was really a middle-of-the-road moderate that worshipped the same group that, and we'll talk more about them in other videos probably, but the same group that all of our political leaders worship and give over our sovereignty to. But they have found, so I'm giving you real history as I know it right now, and the FBI is giving out this information. They have the assassin. There may be others involved. That would be my take, that there were accomplices. But there's not a whole lot from the FBI talking about that. But we do know that this guy was from a Republican family, but he was completely flipped and in a very weird state of mind, living with a guy that was being a trans, changing himself into a female. I don't hate these people. I want you all to understand that. I do believe that they're weirdos on some level, but they are victims on a bigger level. Victims of ultrasounds, childhood and adolescent medications that are mind-altering, and then constant propaganda and bombardment from the media and everything else, like our schools, our publishing houses, our newspapers. They all push this same unfortunate and demonic agenda. And I believe that this guy, it's kind of funny, it does at this moment in time, it reminds me of Parker, your brother, a little bit, and he may be watching this too. I love Parker, but Parker is on the wrong track, and Parker is a victim. Parker is in a relationship with a girl that wants to transition into a guy. Uh-oh, there was a beaver beside the road there, probably going to end up dead. But this is a result of ADD medication, ultrasounds, our food being processed. It's no longer what food would, it's no longer what we would in the past, 20 years ago, consider to be food. It's so full of chemicals. Understand that chemists are the world's worst enemy. There are some positives, I guess, that come out of chemistry, but there are it's a very huge negative with pharmaceuticals and the junk that they're putting in our food, in everything. Our air is full of this stuff. We're being bombarded by radio waves and different radiations from everything you can think of. Even this camera I'm looking at is possibly emitting radiation that is affecting my brain and my eyeballs and my innards right now. But that's something you all should be thinking about. And 5G and all of this stuff can be very problematic in the future. Don't let them ever take away your freedom of speech. As long as you're not inciting violence against innocent people, and as long as you are, not harming people, you have a right to speak your mind and give your opinion, share your concerns. As far as Anita goes, I'm hoping to find somebody else. I do not like being alone. And the funny thing is that my dad was married 3 or 4 times, and his dad, Herbert Staten, was married 4 or 5 times. Grandpa Herbert Staten lived to be 96 years old. Pretty incredible. I hope that I can get that far, but I want to be healthy. If I'm not healthy and I'm not mentally clear, I don't want to be here, and I don't want to be a burden. I would rather find a path to peace and rest in peace. I do not want to be a burden for my children. But with that being said, I wanted to keep it short. I'll jump off of here. But you all, please continue to watch these, get to know me, and I'll try not to inject too much politics, but it is something that I think you'll want to know about in the future, everything that's going on here. In 20 years, this will be very important to you, I believe, because you all have my DNA package to some degree. Some of you may lean toward your mother's mindsets. Some of you may lean in my direction. And the most important thing is that you know the truth and that you don't fall for the lies that are being showered upon us daily. And the humanity is being played and controlled. And you've got to get your head wrapped around that crazy idea. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye, kiddos.